Welcome to Journey of an Aesthete, and we have a very special guest, Michelle Alexander, who you describe yourself as what? You describe yourself as
An experimental
musician, composer,
performer,
pianist, vocalist, all kinds of things.
I dance too. I move. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how. It's hard to. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay,
Who knows
so
anymore?
well, it'll be so. I have not seen you in 20 years, right? So the last time I saw Michelle would have been in 2003, 2004.
Yep.
And it was in Boston when I was living there. And at that time, I was doing very different things musically than I am now. I certainly didn't have this podcast. There weren't podcasts. I was very interested in film at that time. I still am, but as you know, I took that film class and all that.
Yeah.
And so, but I've known you since college, and we are both alum of New England Conservatory of Music in Boston. So where do you want to begin? There's so much we can talk about because you're very accomplished, and she's sitting at my 70 Steinway here.
Oh, what a nice beast.
So what? So what did you want to talk about? Or what comes to your mind and your consciousness? We do this stream.
Color and aesthetics and
Color. Okay. All right. What
How does
about
color work for you?
I don't think a lot about color.
Uh-huh.
I mean, what I mean is I don't think, color is part of life. Do you mean literally color, or do you mean color like?
Color in terms of your artist journey, in terms of
Oh.
Yeah, I was just hanging out.
I hate orange.
Really?
I hate orange, and orange was Frank Sinatra's favorite color. It's interesting. I love gray, as you can see. My taste in color is austere for my own dress.
What does that mean? Like?
It means aesthetic and austere. I mean, I like monochromatic, and I sort of have little things here and there, but I don't go wild with color.
Yeah.
In painting, though, and art, it's a whole other thing. In painting and art, it's I like so many different kinds of things. I love Matisse; he's one of my favorites. But I also like Vermeer. I also love Mark Rothko and Jackson Pollock and Lee Crasso. So color. Right now, we're in fall. It's October, and all the colors of fall, thankfully, are here. Which is the first year that I've been here where we've had a proper fall, leaf-wise. It hasn't just been a bunch of mustard and yellow leaves falling off from rain. So we actually have reds and burgundies. So that's my response to you, what you say about color. But
I just spent time with an artist that I went to high school with.
Okay.
Celinda Lanier, and color is very much involved. I don't know. I'm just babbling. Maybe we should play a little music here. Pick a color. I know. Pick a color, and I'll play something fluid.
Oh, you want me to pick a color, and then you'll play music. I want to talk a little bit more, but we can come back to that if you're moved to play music.
Sure.
Pick a color. Burgundy.
Burgundy.
One of my favorite colors.
Okay. Immediately thought of the Marvin Gaye picture on your wall.
Well, that's
oh God, no, that's not.
That's not burgundy. That's actually rose and fuchsia.
Oh yeah. That.
Do you want to do fuchsia and do you want to?
Yeah. Could I play something?
Sure.
Or you want to? Okay. Fuchsia.
Whatever
fuchsia
you want to play.
okay.
It doesn't have to be fuchsia.
Fast for me, and burgundy's a little slow. Anyways, I did a clairvoyant training, and in the training they use color a lot. And I used to be a pianist for a clairvoyant church.
Oh, that's interesting.
And
I should say immediately that I have no synesthesia.
Oh, okay,
at
yes,
all.
because my
I should have claimed. You probably do see. I don't. So for me, when you ask me about color, color's utterly separate from music and from everything else. Everything's separated. The way my brain works, everything is separated from everything else. And so when I go into something, I have to I go into that thing. But that thing is not necessarily associated with other things.
Yeah. Well, my artist friend, Celinda, she's a synesthesia.
Oh, she has that.
I don't know how to say it. Anyways.
Synesthesia.
Synesthesia. Yeah.
Do you have it?
I guess somehow, maybe I do. I don't know much about it.
Well, that's when color is like other things other than color. That's when you like taste color or hear color.
Yes.
I don't hear color.
I'm not sure if I hear color or not.
I don't taste color. I taste food, you know, it's
Yeah.
sort of like, no, really,
Right,
it's like,
yeah.
but the thing of it is that I just wrote a piece called Eve Klein Blue. Because Eve Klein, who, I think he invented that shade of blue, to the degree which anybody can invent a color,
Okay.
is amazing. It's like kind of a cobalt, I don't know, or a French, it's incredible blue. And I actually wrote a piece celebrating that. So clearly I have feelings about colors, right?
Right.
If I did that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to play something you wrote, or talk about New England Conservatory of Music, or how we know each other, or your feelings about any of that, or?
I feel like we're two peas in a pod. That's how I think we know each other
Uh-huh.
from school. Musically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like you're some sort of twin of mine.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know.
Well, Michelle
what
and
that means.
Mitchell.
Yeah, exactly,
Michelle
right?
and Mitchell. Right.
And my nickname growing up was Mitch.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the name I chose for myself.
Oh.
I mean,
Wow.
you do know that the world wanted to call me Mitchell.
Oh.
You do know. I mean, if Mitch is short for Mitchell when you're born Mitchell, people impose stuff on you. Like when you're a toddler or a child, people
Right,
decide what
yeah.
they want to call you. But I always knew I wanted to go by Mitch. Always.
Wow.
Always. It was a preference. Now,
And your parents went with it.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. It's simpler. I don't like long names.
Yeah.
I don't like of course the fashion now is for people to use 4 names and 3 names and all that, and I tolerate it out of respect and toleration. But do I love it? And no, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like short names.
So I just you were one of my good buddies
Yep.
at New England, and I learned so much from you and explored so much. I remember hearing you play for the first time. I walked into a practice room, an ensemble room, and you were playing with people and
Mm-hmm.
wearing your 3-piece suit,
Uh-huh.
the only one there in that, and
Well, this would have been in the 80s.
it was in '88. It would have been 88.
Oh, that's when I did my recital.
Yes, and I think I heard your recital.
That's yeah.
Well,
That's when I did my recital. So that was the year I graduated. It was roughly in that. That was a good year for me. I remember that you at that time were rooming with Julie Rottenberg. Is that her name?
Ronenberger.
Ronenberger.
Yeah.
And I remember that you were going to a dance and doing something like that, right? And getting ready for this dance or something.
I can't remember. I don't know.
I remember everything. You know, it's a
Yes,
curse.
and I remember very little.
Yeah, I remember. I'm like, yeah, it's a. So.
So what now?
Well, talk about your journey till now. What it's like seeing me and being here after 20 years.
Oh, it's magical.
It's magical.
It's magical. Yeah, what has my journey been like? I think music and color has not been a combination for me in that journey much at all, except for that church I played for, mainly. But now it's becoming more a part, I think, of how it is kind of how I eat. I do eat by color. I don't know if you've heard of people who do that, but
Yeah, I know about it.
anyways, what has my journey been like? I'm really happy that I found improvisation at a fairly young age, because I think that it is the great key to unlock art. Thank you, jazz, for bringing that. Anyways, for bringing that to us in such a huge way.
Yeah, that's a really interesting. Well, I mean, I came to it very late.
What do you
Really late. So I didn't really start properly improvising until 12, 13.
I love it that you call that late.
It's late. People, as you know, people start their musical instruments at 4 and 5.
Yeah, I don't think I got to improvisation until I found jazz in high school at the NCSA.
Oh, NCSA in North Carolina.
Yeah, and
I mean, trying to improvise.
yeah, and I was on a Western classical journey, right? That school is very much their focus. There was, I didn't. The way that I learned was not with improvisation, so I came to improvisation much later.
Well, I didn't know what I wanted to do because I mean I did, but I didn't. So I was just trying to find a place in the world.
Yeah.
So my experience of my life is I'm trying to find a home in the world and pursue the things I love. But I'm having to deal with the world, and the world has lots of things, right? To which I'm close and adjacent, but that I don't love. I don't hate, I don't dislike, but I don't love. And so for me, it's been like, for me at those years, it was like year in year out deciding, what do I really want to do? You know, and the music I really loved, I was listening to, was African American music. You know, I was going to hear Cedar Walton all the time, and Freddie Hubbard, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And Bobby Short was someone I knew personally. Is that behind you is that painting of Bobby Short and all this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the music I love. But see, I was in an environment when the way we study music is you have to learn the classics and classical piano.
Right, that's me too. Yep.
Right. And so, and I was interested in that, and I pursued my studies very diligently and with great discipline. But always in the back of my mind, I wanted to do something other than the written score.
Right. It's just, it's a framework that is so tired to me. Like, it's just, I think it's really unfortunate that so much, you know, it's just.
Well, it's not tired if that's what you want to do.
Right.
So there are people that want to reconstruct.
Right.
And there are people that want to play Schubert and Brahms and Messiaen or Boulez or whatever. They want to do that.
They want to stay in Classicalville.
Right, but if they want to do that, then they should do that. They got to learn the repertoire and all that. But see, my feeling about that's just one style.
Right, it's
There's
one
a lot
style,
of music that has nothing to do
we are
with it.
in a, I think white supremacist patriarchy, and I think that, that's what we are. That's where we go from to learn most. That's in this country, I think, and jazz has, fortunately, I really hope that the entire country can, I just feel like improvisation is the way to seek art, like being able to play and explore and learning how to do that and fluently speak that language, speak speak improvisationally of any of your art that you do, any form, is so incredibly key. And I hope soon that anyone and everyone who wants to learn how to do music can have that way, so that they can go in any musical direction that they see fit, and not just this Western classical pervasive sort of structure that and pedagogy. Right?
Yeah, again, I'm not really as against that as I think you. So I'm actually like, because so I'll go back.
I'm really not into it.
Yeah, I'm into it without doing it. As I said, to me, it's a style. So to me, if you want to play Mozart, a Mozart sonata, or if you want to play, that to me is a whole universe that you could do for a living.
Right,
as a concert pianist.
I
So that's what I mean when I
yeah.
say not against it. Like, I don't ever want to.
No, I'm not.
Right.
I agree.
But it's just not the thing I loved and wanted to do.
Yeah.
I had all this other stuff I was into, and so for me the challenge was learning to do what I love was a real challenge, because loving something will get you far, but it's not sufficient. It's not sufficient, because after the love, instead of, you also have to develop your technique and your craft, and sort of try to attempt to learn about what you love better or further and go into it. And that's kind of how that's my experience of the world, even for this podcast, is I'm learning how to do a podcast while I'm doing it and communicating, right? So,
yeah.
So,
now what?
well, I've talked too much, so you should probably say something.
Maybe I should just play something. I feel like we're on the Mary Partland show, kind of. This makes me feel like it would have been fun to do a show like that with you, two pianos.
Oh, you want to play two pianos, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be fun if we could, but we only have one, so.
Well, four hands. Oh, so one piano, two hands.
Oh, right.
Right, one piano, two hands. Yeah. So.
Should we try it?
Did you want to play more first, or did you want to alone, or did you want to?
Do you want to play and me sing? No, that's
yeah, because I mean, I don't feel, I mean, I don't know. It's possible. It's possible.
Here, tell you what, I'll play something.
I mean, you're seated at the piano. So,
yeah, let's see here. I'm gonna go with turquoise.
Oh, it's a great color.
This whole trip, for some reason, I'm in North Carolina for the first time in 30 years, and
oh my goodness,
30 some, I think, and maybe less, maybe 28, and it's been a real walk down memory lane, and there's been a lot of whale stuff that came up with me and my buddies when we were my alumni from NCSA buddies that seemed to involve sea creatures and whales going under together. And at my school, turquoise, they said, was the color of amusement. I really like. I might be blowing out the sound. Ooh, didn't think about that. It's a turquoise.
Excellent. You stopped much sooner than I had thought, but that's very good. It's a very short. I feel like I was just getting into it a little bit.
Oh.
So
And the Peanuts theme for some reason has come up on this trip too.
okay.
Oh. Pretty amusing.
Yeah, that's a good piece. I really love Vince Guaraldi. Actually, there's a documentary on Vince Guaraldi. You know. That's a really good movie because it talks about San Francisco. He's part of San Francisco culture.
I know, and you know everything about San Francisco.
Yeah, without ever having been there.
Yeah.
So did you know Michelle and I went to one of the very early gay pride marches with your family? You have no memory of this,
I do not remember going with my mom.
Yeah,
no, I
with
don't
your
remember
mom.
my mom being there.
And I remember that I wanted to stay because I loved it. And I think your mom was uncomfortable, or there were you brought a lot of relatives with you, or people with you, about whom I was
not their scene.
About whom I was ambivalent because I just wanted to look at this pride march because I'm an aesthete. For me, it's aesthetics.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I grew up consuming gay culture.
Yeah.
Grew up. Joel Orton plays. Oscar Wilde. Terrence, go on and on. And my dad did plays by gay authors and all that.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'd never been to San Francisco in my life. And it was 1991. And I wanted to watch this parade and watch the men in chaps and watch the trans people.
See the...
And that's for me, but you had all this other stuff going on, like how does your mom feel and all. So I actually had to leave that pride parade early because of, when you said, to me something very strange, although I forget, you said, Mitch, you're so liberal. I had no idea what that meant. I don't know, I don't, what does that mean?
I think it meant I think that whoever I was with had not even probably seen gay culture up close to that degree of a pride march, like my mom.
And it's in San Francisco.
Yeah, and so I think it was just too much for her, and and that's what I meant is you can handle, this is your scene, and you're comfortable with it. My mom was really uncomfortable, and I think I was just trying to balance as a fellow Libra.
Yeah, that's where I'm not Libran. If I'm in front of a pride or I'm doing the play's the thing. I want to watch the play.
Yeah.
That's my autistic insensitivity to the feelings of other people. Indifference or insensitivity to the feelings of other people, which is partly comes from my autism, right? So. How's the producer? Is I don't know if Laurie is watching our producer.
I don't know. It looks like we have one viewer and two reactions and 2 comments.
Oh, excellent.
Let's see the reactions.
Comments. This is the thing about I don't know.
Yeah, this
is
the first time Mitch is going live.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, I don't know if we can see. We'll find the comments.
Yeah, we'll find them, but we're not reactions.
View insights. There we go. Click on view insights. There we go.
This is a little tutorial of. That's just Yeah, we gotta go back. Yeah, we should.
Yeah. Anyways, can't find the comments. But...
Yeah. How do we?
Well.
Shoot.
How do we get back?
Oh boy.
How to maximize it?
That's not good.
Oh, we could just end the.
No, because we're in the middle of the video. The video hasn't trending. So how do we?
Well, the thing is, though, is I don't know if it's recording the video because we're live.
Yeah, it records.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not.
Yeah, I work in tech.
Well.
Live producer.
Oh goodness.
Oh, go back to that tab. Yeah. And then double click. Oh, I know.
Goodness.
Go click on back.
Back.
And then click on. Oh.
Oh shoot. Did we lose?
We might have.
That's not good. I'm gonna